It was supposed to be a routine traffic stop, but within 87 seconds, gunshots rang out. A young man lay bleeding in the driver's seat, and two officers stood in stunned silence, weapons drawn, hearts pounding. Dashcam footage caught it all. The sudden pop of gunfire, the piercing screams, and then a heavy, suffocating stillness. Police say they feared for their lives. The family says he was murdered. The world asks, who really pulled the trigger, and why did this have to happen? Police-involved shootings during traffic stops are alarmingly common in America. Statistically, black drivers are 20 times more likely to be shot by police during a stop than white drivers. But what if in this case, the blame doesn't land as cleanly as we think? What if the officers weren't the only ones making questionable decisions? And what if the answers lie buried beneath a cover-up no one wants to admit? Welcome back to CrimeBot Chronicles, where we investigate the darkest corners of true crime with a lens of truth, accountability, and curiosity. Today's story asks a terrifying question. Did police really cause this unexpected shooting, or is there something even more disturbing behind it all? If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss a single chilling investigation. Let's dive into the shadows, because in this case, the line between justice and tragedy is razor thin. On the night of March 14, 2023, 26-year-old Raymond Holt was driving home from a friend's house in the quiet suburb of Rockfield, Missouri. It was a little past midnight. The roads were mostly empty, just a few trucks and late-night travelers sharing the space. Raymond was alone in his car, a silver Hyundai Elantra, and according to his family, he was texting his girlfriend about what movie they'd watch when he got back. Then the flashing red and blue lights appeared behind him. Bodycam footage later released by the department shows Officer Dan Carter and his partner Officer Regina Velasquez pulling over Raymond's vehicle for failure to signal a lane change. On tape, they sound calm, professional, at first. Carter approaches from the driver's side. Velasquez covers from the passenger's side. "License and registration, sir," Carter says. Raymond complies. He reaches toward the glove compartment. Then, within seconds, everything changes. Carter's voice shifts. "Hands where I can see them." Raymond's voice trembles. "I'm just grabbing the... hands up now." And then, a gunshot. Just one, but it's deafening. Raymond slumps. The camera jerks. Velasquez screams. Carter's breath becomes ragged. "Shots fired. Shots fired." The radio crackles. The shot came from Officer Carter's gun. Raymond died before paramedics could arrive. Within hours, headlines exploded. Unarmed driver shot and killed by police in Missouri traffic stop. The department released a brief statement citing a perceived threat. But that wasn't enough. Within days, protests erupted in Rockfield. Demands for justice rang out in front of the police department. Hashtags like #JusticeForRaymond trended online. But behind the scenes, something more disturbing was already unraveling. Why did this stop escalate so quickly? Was Raymond holding a weapon? Why was there only one gunshot? If both officers were threatened? And most critically, why did Officer Carter fire? The internal investigation launched immediately. The officers were placed on paid administrative leave. According to the initial police report, Officer Carter claimed that Raymond made a sudden movement toward the center console, which Carter believed to be a threat of accessing a weapon. But that statement didn't align with the footage. Crime scene analysts and independent experts pointed out inconsistencies. For example, Raymond's left hand appears to remain visible during most of the encounter, even while reaching for paperwork. The center console never opens. And despite Carter yelling "hands up," he fires almost simultaneously, giving Raymond less than 2 seconds to react. Was this a panicked response? Or was it something more? Raymond's family hired an independent forensic investigator, Dr. Helena Ortiz, a retired crime scene specialist with the FBI. Her analysis of the body cam footage, crime scene data, and autopsy was chilling. She concluded that Raymond was shot from a downward angle, suggesting he was already seated and leaning away when the trigger was pulled. That means he wasn't lunging or attacking. He may have been trying to shield himself. And then came the twist. A grainy security camera from a nearby gas station caught something the body cams didn't. Another car, idling in the parking lot across the street during the stop. Moments before the gunshot, this car blinked its headlights 3 times. And then sped off after the shot was fired. Who was in that car? And why haven't the police addressed it? Some believe it was a witness afraid to come forward. Others, including online sleuths and activists, claim it was an undercover unit monitoring the stop, possibly to protect Carter, who, it turns out, was already under internal review for a prior excessive force complaint filed just 6 months earlier. The Rockfield PD had kept that detail quiet. More digging uncovered that Officer Dan Carter had previously been involved in 3 aggressive incidents involving young black males, all of which resulted in lawsuits. None of the cases led to disciplinary action. But then there's the most haunting piece of evidence, a dispatch call, recorded moments before the stop, where Officer Velasquez mutters something nearly inaudible. "You sure this is the right car?" What did she mean? Was this traffic stop part of a larger operation? According to a whistleblower who contacted the local paper anonymously, Raymond's vehicle may have matched the description of a suspect's car in a recent armed robbery, but that suspect had already been apprehended hours earlier. If the officers had outdated information, it could explain the heightened tension, but it doesn't explain why Officer Carter fired so quickly, or why Velasquez hesitated to back him up. Interviews with Velasquez later revealed more cracks in the story. She admitted she was caught off guard by the shooting. In her statement to investigators, she wrote, "I didn't see a weapon. I don't know why he fired." Her body cam also showed her stepping back in shock after the shot, not drawing her weapon until Carter began shouting into the radio. So, was this an act of fear? A misjudgment? Or something darker? The district attorney's office opened a formal inquiry, citing possible criminal misconduct. But community trust was already shattered. Raymond's family held a press conference, tears in their eyes. His mother, Janice Holt, sobbed into the microphone. "My son wasn't a threat. He had dreams, he had a girlfriend, he was going back to school. And now he's gone. For what?" The autopsy revealed no drugs or alcohol in Raymond's system. No weapon was ever recovered from his car. His phone, which was found unlocked and still on the text thread with his girlfriend, was examined. The last thing he typed? "Hold on, babe, cops just pulled me over." The town became a powder keg of grief and rage. Protests turned into marches. Community leaders called for the police chief's resignation. Rockfield's mayor declared a citywide review of all traffic stop protocols. Meanwhile, Officer Carter's story began to unravel. New reports emerged that his psychological evaluation during training had flagged concerns about impulse control and decision-making under pressure. Yet he had still been cleared for patrol duty. Was this tragedy avoidable? A haunting detail came from Officer Carter's own interview. He claimed he felt a dark pressure in the air before he fired, like something was about to go down. "I didn't think. I reacted." It's the kind of justification that's hard to measure, but easy to misuse. Experts in police training say it points to a larger problem. Dr. Samuel Clark, a criminologist specializing in use of force, told reporters, "What we're seeing isn't just a bad apple. It's a systemic failure to train officers to de-escalate. When fear drives the trigger finger, tragedy is inevitable." But the department had its defenders. Former police chief Alan Murdoch appeared on a local talk show claiming Carter was a good man in a bad moment. He warned against a rush to judgment and said body cam footage doesn't show the officer's internal panic. Yet that statement did little to ease public outrage. As the investigation moved forward, a grand jury convened. Protesters lined the courthouse. The footage played over and over on national news, dissected frame by frame. Eventually, the jury indicted Officer Carter for second-degree manslaughter. He turned himself in, posted bail, and now awaits trial. But Raymond Holt is still dead. And the questions still echo. Why did a routine stop turn deadly? Who failed Raymond that night? Was it just one officer, or an entire system that was wired to explode? Some believe there's more to the story. That blinking car, that whispered doubt from Velasquez, the prior complaints, the silence from higher-ups. Is it possible this shooting wasn't just a tragic mistake, but the symptom of a department rotting from the inside? Raymond's death is not an isolated story. It fits into a chilling pattern of young men, especially men of color, dying in confrontations that should have ended with a warning or a citation. His case now joins the long list of others, from Philando Castile to Dante Wright, each with their own timeline, each with their own heartbreak. But here, in Rockfield, Missouri, a small city with quiet streets and sleepy corners, that pain feels freshly sharp. And a community once lulled into believing it could never happen here now knows it already has. So what have we learned? First, that perception can be deadly. What an officer believes in a single second can decide whether someone lives or dies. Second, that not all departments are transparent, and justice often only arrives when communities demand it loudly and persistently. And finally, we've learned that silence, the silence of hesitation, the silence of systems unwilling to confront their flaws, is perhaps the most dangerous force of all. This has been another investigation from CrimeBot Chronicles. If today's story moved you, disturbed you, or made you think twice about the power dynamics in traffic stops, we encourage you to let your voice be heard. Drop a comment below. What do you think really happened that night? Was this truly a mistake, or something far more intentional? And how should we, as a society, respond? Don't forget to subscribe to CrimeBot Chronicles for more gripping stories that peel back the layers of mystery, corruption, and justice in our modern world. Click the bell so you never miss an upload. Share this video with someone who needs to hear the truth, and give it a like if you believe stories like Raymond's deserve to be told. Until next time, stay alert, stay skeptical, and stay safe. CrimeBot Chronicles. Truth always finds the light.